There is something magnetic about being near a chosen one, isn't there? Their presence is like an oasis of peace in a chaotic world, and one cannot help but feel safe, seen, and loved. But here is the secret beneath this calm appearance. A storm is ready to be unleashed. You see, the chosen ones do not just radiate peace, they carry it like a shield. Their love and understanding are divinely inspired. But when this peace is disturbed, take heed. The gentle breeze can suddenly turn into a force of nature. Their patience is not a weakness. It is a mastered strength, a force that, when provoked, can shake the very foundations of the world. The Bible warns us about the dynamic of the lion and the lamb. You know, the lamb that walks softly until the lion wakes up. And believe me, you do not want to be the one who wakes that lion. The chosen are spiritually armed with a power you cannot even begin to imagine. When they are betrayed or tested too far, an ancient divine fire rises within them. It is not just anger, it is a sacred force that will consume everything in its path. You might think you know a chosen one. Perhaps you have felt their peaceful presence, their soothing aura that reassures. But what you do not see is the power slumbering within, ready to explode. Chosen ones do not merely exist, they transform the world. Their energy does not just pass through, it radiates, creating waves of healing wherever they go. You can feel it. You walk into a room and suddenly, everything shifts. Hearts open, burdens lighten, and hope is reborn where there was none. It is like a light so intense that it dispels all surrounding darkness. But here's the thing, that same light does not only heal, it reveals. The more you are around a chosen one, the more you perceive the truth of what is hidden beneath the surface. Let me tell you something shocking. The light that heals can also expose. You think you are simply soaking up their energy, but in reality, that same energy consumes the lies and illusions you cling to. It is like a mirror, hard to look at, but necessary. Impossible to fake. Chosen one, the masks you wear, the walls you build, the self-centered behaviors through which you try to protect yourself, do not withstand their light. And what happens when all those lies are consumed? Well, that is where the transformation begins. What remains after this purification? The truth. But do not mistake this purifying power for weakness, for the chosen one's light can turn inward if necessary, consuming within them what no longer serves them, like a fire consuming impurities from gold. Their light purifies, refines, and restores. And believe me, when it is used for purification, it is not pretty, it is not a gentle glow, it is a divine fire. Patience. You have probably heard that patience is a virtue, but what does that really mean for the chosen? Patience is more than just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It is not a passive or weak patience, it is a strategic patience. Their patience is not infinite, it is intentional. The chosen have an extraordinary capacity to wait, to observe, to listen, and to feel the rhythms of the universe. They wait because they know something deeper than anyone else, divine timing. They understand this. There is a time to act and a time to wait. Every moment is calculated, every silence is a sign of inner strength. They do not rush, they do not panic. They allow time to reveal the truth, and when the moment is right, they act. You might mistake this silence for apathy or worse, weakness, but believe me, this silence is a weapon. It is the calm before the storm. You see, the chosen know the power of waiting. They know the importance of letting things unfold naturally, allowing for growth and repentance in others. It is not about submission or passivity, but about letting things settle on their own. It is a spiritual strategy that allows those around them to accept their own mistakes without interference. And when their patience is tested, when it reaches its limits, that is where their true power is revealed. It is not a reaction, but a spiritual alignment. They do not act out of anger or frustration, but because the moment has come and it is time for them to fulfill their mission. The chosen are not just people of peace, they are people driven by a profound mission. And it is when this mission is threatened or disrupted that their true nature is revealed. Power reveals itself. You have seen it before. That calm and composed individual, who stayed silent for so long, unleashes a force of nature at the opportune moment. This is how the chosen one works. The same divine timing that holds them in silence also gives them the power to strike with determination when the occasion arises. It is not a chaotic and random reaction, but a maturely considered action, ordained by God, which alters the course of events, sometimes with shocking consequences. But what happens when you push them to the limit, when you test their boundaries? You might think you are playing, but in reality, you are challenging a force far greater than you can comprehend. The Bible speaks of this when it mentions meekness. Meekness is not weakness, it is strength under control. The chosen embody this principle like no other. Their power is not on display for everyone to see, it is contained, controlled, and measured until the moment they can no longer hold it back. When they release this power, it is a purely divine act. The warning is simple: do not mistake the patience of a chosen one for submission. Do not think that they do not respond immediately, they are not paying attention. They are, and when their patience is no longer a virtue but a weapon, it will be too late to understand what just happened. The chosen maintain a unique relationship with the truth. Their ability to perceive what is hidden, to pierce through the illusions others cling to, is a gift. But it is not just about revealing the lies in others, it is also about looking themselves in the face. They cannot hide from the truth either. They know their light comes at a price. They know that when they use their power to expose the lies of the world, they also expose their own flaws. But instead of running, they accept them. They do not just heal others, they also heal themselves. They purify, refine, and perfect themselves through this constant process of eliminating what no longer belongs to them. This is the sacred part of their journey, where they decide what stays and what goes. And this decision is not made lightly. It is made with a specific purpose, a vision, and a divine intention. The reality is that the power of the chosen one is a double-edged sword. They can heal, uplift, and transform the world around them, but they can also destroy it if necessary. This power is hidden, often overlooked until the moment it reveals itself. And when it reveals itself, it is something that cannot be ignored. So the next time you meet a chosen one, do not be fooled by their calm, their patience, or their silence, because deep within them burns a divine fire ready to consume anything that hinders their spiritual mission. And believe me, you do not want to be the one who pushes them to unleash. When a chosen one breaks, believe me, it is not just a simple emotional explosion, it is a divine judgment. People often mistake the apparent calm of a chosen one for weakness. They mistake their silence for submission. But when they are pushed to the limit, what you see is not just a reaction, it is cosmic justice unfolding in real time. You know the biblical verse, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay," right? Well, that is what happens when a chosen one channels their anger. It is not mere frustration. It is not a fit of rage in a moment of weakness. It is a divine judgment. When they speak, it is as if the words themselves were prophetic. They cut through the lies and deception, the manipulation, the untruths that have been allowed to take root. You can feel the weight of their words. You can feel the power driving them. Their anger does not pour out like an uncontrollable torrent. No, it is precise, concentrated, and deliberate, like an arrow aimed at the heart of what must be exposed. What happens next makes the chosen one's reaction unforgettable. It is not about punishment, but about revealing the truth. And this truth shocks. It forces people to see themselves as they truly are. It is the kind of truth that forces you to face what you have avoided, what you have hidden from yourself. You might think you can run from the truth, but when a chosen one speaks it, it is like trying to outrun a storm. It arrives, and there is nowhere to hide. When they act, it is with a specific purpose. They are not motivated by revenge, but by a higher calling, a mission to restore justice, to reveal what has been concealed in darkness. And the impact is unforgettable. You will remember that moment for the rest of your days. It is nothing less than divine intervention. Now let's talk about something else, the natural role of the chosen one as a protector. The chosen possess this innate instinct for protection. They are the ones who defend the voiceless, who lift up the brokenhearted, and who fight for those who have no one else to turn to. You have seen it. When a person is vulnerable, when a person is on the edge of the abyss, a chosen one steps in without hesitation. No need for fanfare, no need for explanations, no need to put it on display. They simply do it. It is a calling, a deep spiritual need to ensure that others feel safe, heard, and understood. It is not just about physical protection, but also spiritual protection. The chosen create a space where others can feel shielded from the spiritual chaos of the world, a space where they can find healing and comfort. But let me tell you something most people ignore. The chosen also protect themselves. They are not only there to fight for others. They preserve their own peace, their own energy, and their sacred space with fierce determination. One might think that because they give so generously to others, others don't mind when their generosity is abused, but that is where you are wrong. The chosen are masters of their spiritual hygiene. They know that to continue helping others, they must protect their own energy. They have an intuition that allows them to feel when they are being drained, when their spirit is being pulled in all directions, when their peace is threatened. And when that happens, they cut ties. It is not out of bitterness or anger. It is a form of spiritual hygiene, just as one does not keep toxic waste in their home. They do not tolerate toxic relationships in their lives. They know when to walk away, when to let go, and when to set boundaries. It is self-care on a divine level, essential to their well-being. This is where most people go wrong. They see a chosen one leave a relationship, a situation, and they wonder, why are they abandoning me? Why are they turning their back on me? What they do not understand is that the chosen one is not turning their back on anyone. They are preserving themselves. They are doing what is necessary to maintain their capacity to serve, to protect, and to preserve. To heal, they know that if they do not set these boundaries, if they do not protect their sacred space, they will burn out. And that is not only bad for them, it is bad for those who depend on them. So they protect themselves, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity. They are not invincible. They are human and have limits. If they step back, it is because they need to recharge, to reconnect with their divine mission, and to ensure they can continue to be the protectors others need. It is easy to forget that the chosen are human beings too. It is easy to perceive them as perfect, inaccessible beings, always available, always ready to help, always ready to sacrifice themselves for others. But that is a myth. The chosen are deeply human, like you and like everyone else. They need to protect their energy, to recharge, to have their own space, their own time to reflect and regenerate. Without this, they cannot pursue their mission. They cannot continue to be the force of light they are meant to be. So when they cut ties, when they distance themselves from situations or people, do not take it personally. It is not against you. As for their ability to continue fulfilling their mission, they protect themselves in order to remain a beacon of hope, a vessel of divine truth, and a source of healing for those who truly need it. But here is what must not be forgotten. That same protective instinct that drives the chosen one to defend others also makes them fierce when it comes to protecting themselves. When they are spiritually threatened, when they feel their peace in jeopardy, they will not hesitate to defend themselves, and this defense will be unprecedented. Their defense is not petty. It is not based on anger or frustration, but on divine justice, on spiritual integrity. When they fight for themselves, it is not a battle of ego, it is a battle of purpose. And that, my friend, is something you should never underestimate, because when the chosen one stands their ground, they do so with all the power of the universe behind them. It is not just protection, it is a divine call to action, and it is irresistible. When a chosen one gets angry, do not expect the explosion you might be used to. Their rage is not loud, it is devastating. You've seen it before, haven't you? People get angry, they shout, they argue, they make their displeasure known. But the chosen do not need to shout. Their power lies in their silence. You might think they are too calm, too composed, but you are mistaken. Their silence is a weapon, far more dangerous than any argument you have ever witnessed. They do not engage in petty quarrels or fights for recognition. Their actions are deliberate, thoughtful, and always in service of a higher cause. They choose their battles carefully, and they choose silence when the world expects noise. Here is the thing about their rage: it does not explode like a typical tantrum. When a chosen one is deeply betrayed or pushed to the limit, they do not scream. They withdraw, they retreat, and in that retreat, they let the world collapse upon itself. It is like pulling out the rug and watching everything crash to the floor. Their absence becomes the most powerful statement they can make. It is not about punishing anyone or putting their anger on display, but about letting life or karma take its course. The consequences are already in motion when a chosen one withdraws. They do not punish anyone. They simply let the universe follow its path. They step aside and let divine justice unfold. This is the power of their silence, a silence that is not passive, but strategic. You may have already experienced it. When you are in the presence of a chosen one and they stop engaging, stop giving their energy, stop fighting for your attention, suddenly, everything feels wrong. It is as if they had withdrawn their light, and without it, everything crumbles. You then realize how much you depended on them, how much their presence maintained the balance. This is the striking nature of their power. It does not need to be loud, it resides in absence. And in that absence, the world reveals itself, flaws appear, and the truth comes to light. And I warn you, once revealed, this truth can no longer be hidden. But here's where it gets even deeper. The chosen are not only endowed with emotional intelligence, they are spiritually guided by the divine. This divine guidance is accompanied by an intuition sharpened by the truth. They do not just go through life reacting superficially, they perceive things that others do not see. These beings read energy like an open book, perceiving hidden truths, deep motivations, fears, and silent insecurities of all those around them. It is as if they had X-ray vision of the soul. They can look at a person and know exactly what is going on beneath the surface. It is not magic, it is divine perception. When a chosen being enters a room, they do not just see the people present, they see the shadows hiding behind the facades. They feel the energy, they perceive who is authentic and who is faking. They know when someone is pretending to be what they are not. And when that happens, they do not need to shout or make a scene, they simply know, and they let the truth of that knowledge act. This is the true power of the chosen being. Their words do not only carry weight, they carry divine truth. When they speak, they do not just use words, they wield truth like a sword, cutting through lies, facades, and manipulations. And believe me, toxic people fear them. Why? Because when a chosen being enters a room, the shadows of people's insecurities begin to manifest. To shatter the lies they have concealed, the shadow parts they have kept in the dark begin to reveal themselves. It is as if the chosen one were a walking mirror reflecting what people do not want to see. But that is not even the worst part. The worst part is that the chosen one does not even need to do anything. They do not need to point out flaws or denounce others. Their mere presence is enough. People feel exposed in their presence, and that is why toxic individuals cannot stand them for long. They feel their own shadows confronting them, their lies laid bare, and it terrifies them. Let's analyze this in more detail. This is why the chosen do not need to waste their time in petty confrontations, nor their energy on people who are too lost and refuse to change. Instead, they let the truth act. Truth is irresistible, and when a chosen one speaks it, it becomes a force of nature that no one can ignore. You have seen it before. Someone stands up and finally speaks the truth. The truth bursts forth, and suddenly everything changes. People wake up. They begin to see what they previously ignored. The chosen one forces no one toward the truth. They simply reveal it. And when this truth is brought to light, the world shifts. This is why toxic people fear the chosen so much. It is not just that the chosen one knows the truth, they embody it. When they enter a room, their energy is not merely felt, it collides with the energy of everyone else, especially those hiding something. The more they try to suppress their shadow side, the more the presence of the chosen one makes it resurface. One cannot hide from the truth, not in the presence of a chosen one. And that is what makes them so powerful. They do not need to engage in drama or arguments to prove themselves. They let the truth speak for them. And when the truth speaks, it has an undeniable way of undoing everything in its path. It is dangerous to attack a chosen one, because they do not fight like others. They fight with the truth. They do not need to shout to be heard. Their silence, their presence, their intuition, these are their weapons. And when these weapons do not just expose what is hidden in others, they also reveal what is hidden within themselves. The chosen understand this. They know that to help others heal, they must be willing to face their own shadows, to face the truth within themselves before they can bring light to others. Thus, when they enter a room, they do not just change the energy, they change the truth of who you are, the truth of who they are, the truth of the real and the unreal. This is why the chosen are dangerous. When provoked, they do not only respond with anger, they respond with divine judgment. They do not just speak with words, they speak with truth. And when truth is on their side, nothing can stop them. The chosen have a capacity for mercy that exceeds most people's understanding. You have seen it yourself. They forgive, they offer second chances, they create space for others to flourish. But do not mistake this for weakness. Do not believe their patience is infinite or their kindness guaranteed. They offer their mercy, they grant their grace, but there is a threshold, a limit that once crossed is irrevocable. And when that limit is crossed, the divine protection they offered is withdrawn. You see, the chosen do not just offer human forgiveness, they offer something much greater. They are instruments of divine mercy. But like all things, divine mercy has its limits. When someone abuses this mercy, when they cross the boundaries of what is graciously permitted, then the shift occurs. It is not a reaction of anger, but of divine justice. When mercy stops, justice steps in. And believe me, justice is not synonymous with forgiveness. You might think you are dealing with a benevolent soul, but you are about to realize you have been confronted by a force much greater than anything you could imagine. And when divine justice strikes, it is not just about punishment, but about revelation, the truth bursting into broad daylight. You do not want to test the limits of a chosen one's mercy. When the divine protection is withdrawn, the consequences that follow are not accidental. They are destined to reveal the deepest spiritual truths, the hidden aspects of your soul that you try to ignore. It is a warning from the universe, and once that mercy is over, there is no going back. Divine justice will take its course. Now let me tell you about the energy of a chosen one. When they enter a room, the atmosphere changes. You have felt it, haven't you? There is a certain gravity in the air, a calm that settles in, like the silence before the storm or the peace before dawn. The chosen carry a spiritual presence, a force that is felt not only by the people around them, but by the room itself. The energy of the place transforms. This is not a coincidence, nor a random fluctuation. It is the power of their spirit, a spirit that brings peace, light, and clarity. Their energy is not just positive, it is transformative. It spreads through the air like a wave, smoothing rough edges, soothing tensions, and creating a sense of harmony. When they enter the room, it softens and becomes a better version of itself, simply by their presence. But here is, just like their mercy, their energy has a limit. Provoked, tested beyond a certain point, their energy shifts. That peaceful presence begins to dissipate. Calm gives way to tension, clarity to confusion. It is not a loss of control, but a reaction to the spiritual disturbance caused. The chosen do not need to shout, gesture, or raise their voices to change things. Their energy alone is enough to transform the atmosphere. And when this energy is disturbed, shaken by provocation, the whole space feels it. The people in the room begin to feel uneasy, as if something were wrong. It is not just the chosen one who is troubled, the entire frequency of the environment is disrupted. You might think of it as a bad day or a coincidence, but it is not. Something deeply spiritual is happening in that moment. The purity of their being reacts to the energetic disturbance and affects everything around them. When they are aligned, when they are at peace, they bless the space around them and their light rises. The room fills with clarity and brings a sense of calm, but when this balance is disturbed, a new tension takes hold. The energy is no longer harmonious, it becomes dissonant. And when this energy changes, it affects not only those present, but everything. Relationships become strained, conversations lose their flow, the spiritual harmony of before gives way to a palpable malaise, a feeling that something is wrong. And that, my friend, is the power of a chosen one's energy. You have seen it, you have felt it. It is like when a storm gathers on the horizon, you feel the air change even before the rain falls. When a chosen one is disturbed, when they are provoked or their balance is broken, the atmosphere reacts. It is a reflection of the purity of their being. And believe me, this energy is not to be taken lightly. When it is disturbed, it does not just disrupt the immediate environment, it shakes the foundations of everything that was stable. Those present may not even know the reason for their unease. They may be unable to identify precisely what is bothering them. They feel a discomfort, but deep down, they know something is wrong. That is when the power of a chosen one becomes undeniable. Their presence, their energy, is a force that transforms the world around them. You might think it is just a matter of mood or attitude, but it is much deeper. The energy they carry is a spiritual frequency, and when they are aligned with their divine mission, this frequency brings peace, clarity, and understanding. When they are disturbed, this frequency becomes chaotic, and the resulting malaise is a reflection of that spiritual trouble. This is why the chosen are so dangerous. When provoked, they do not just react with words, they alter the very atmosphere surrounding them. And when this change occurs, it is far from trivial, it is impossible to ignore. The change is felt by all, and those who feel it will be forever transformed. The energy of a chosen one is a gift that brings peace, love, and light to everyone they meet. But when this energy is disturbed, it is a force felt like a shockwave. People will feel the repercussions, and those sensitive to energy will understand they have been touched. I have just witnessed something powerful, something beyond them. It is not just about the person, their energy transforms the world around them. When aligned with their true mission, this alignment brings blessings, clarity, and inner peace. But when it is disturbed, this energy becomes a warning, a signal that a problem has arisen and must be addressed. This energy shift will let you know exactly where you stand. The chosen are not simply individuals gifted with compassion. They carry within them a healing energy that, once released, can work wonders for the soul. You naturally possess a presence that brings peace, calm, and clarity to all those around you. People feel it. They are drawn to you when the weight of the world becomes unbearable, when they need to be reminded that hope still exists. But here is the shocking truth. This healing energy is not just soothing, it can also be dangerous, and not necessarily in the way you might think. You see, your energy does not just heal, it reveals your presence. It has the power to illuminate the inner darkness of others. It is like a lighthouse in the night. While offering hope, it also exposes shadows. You are able to feel deeply, to understand what others are going through, to know their pain without them having to say a word. Your empathy is a superpower. You perceive their suffering, you feel their struggles as if they were your own. But in this space, healing is not without consequences. The truth you reveal can be painful, but it is necessary. Those around you may feel uncomfortable because your light forces them to confront the parts of themselves they have hidden. The lies, the deception, the denial. You see, healing is not always gentle. Sometimes, it consumes lies. When you bring your light into a room, truth arrives with it, and it can be painful to witness. This is where the power of your light comes in. It can become a fire, it can purify, it can consume the useless, the toxic, and the false. People do not always like the truth, and when you reveal it, there is a risk of backlash. But your light does not care about comfort, it cares about growth. This fire, this light within you, is not there to destroy, but to purge what no longer serves. When you shine your light into the darkness, it can consume it, leaving only reality behind. What is pure and this process are uncomfortable, but necessary. This is how people grow. This is how they evolve. You're not here to play it safe. You are here to heal, to help others awaken to their true nature, even if it means pushing them out of their comfort zone. But here is the thing. If you are capable of deep healing and empathy, you also understand that mercy has its limits. You are not here to let yourself be walked all over. You are not here to absorb the negative energy of the world without consequence. And that is where the line is drawn. Your protective nature is not just about protecting others, but also about protecting yourself. You defend the vulnerable, the weak, and those who need a voice, but you do not need anyone's permission to protect them. Your protective instinct comes from a deep divine understanding. You are meant to intervene for others. This protection requires no explanation. You know what you are here to do, and when someone is in need, you step in without hesitation. You do not ask. You do not question. It is in your soul to protect those who cannot protect themselves. But make no mistake. You defend others with all your might. You also defend yourself. You are not indestructible. You need your space, your time to recharge. Your energy is precious, and when it is depleted, when that line is crossed and your sacred space is violated, you withdraw. No need to argue, no need to shout. You simply step back, and in that silence, you let the world see what happens when a chosen person decides to protect themselves, their space, their energy, their peace. It is non-negotiable. And if someone treats you with disrespect, do not fight, simply withdraw. You cut ties, not out of hatred, but because your inner peace is far more precious than any toxic relationship. It is not about revenge, it is about spiritual hygiene. You have no time to waste on what drains your energy, what contaminates your soul. But here is what is often misunderstood. Cutting ties is not out of anger, but out of survival instinct. You know your worth. You know that to continue helping others, you must protect your own well-being. One cannot give what they do not have. And when that limit is reached, if you are pushed too far, you walk away, not out of hatred, but to preserve the sacred energy you carry within. It is not a punishment for the other person. It is taking care of yourself, knowing that if you don't, you can no longer serve the world with the strength and peace you were destined to share. It is the ultimate form of self-respect, knowing when to walk away, knowing when to protect your inner peace. Those who truly understand this will respect it. Those who don't will remain in the wake of your absence, wondering where they went wrong. But by then it will be too late. You will have already made the choice to protect what is sacred within you. Now let's talk about how you alter the energy around you. People notice it when you walk into a room. Your presence is not just felt, it is experienced. You bring with you a spiritual force that changes the atmosphere. People feel more at peace, more grounded, more centered in your presence. It is like a weight lifting from their shoulders, and for a moment, everything seems lighter. You may not even need to speak, but your energy alone is enough to calm a storm. But beware, this energy is not to be taken lightly. You are not here only to bless others. When that peace is disturbed, when it is provoked, the change is immediate. That calm and peace you bring can turn into tension, confusion, and unease in the blink of an eye. You don't need to raise your voice to make yourself understood, or make a scene. Your energy speaks for you, and when it is disturbed, the whole room feels it. It is the power of your being. You are a spiritual force. When you are aligned, you uplift people. When you are disturbed, you shake the very foundations of the space you occupy. The energy you bring with you is not the result of chance. It is spiritual, it is divine. And when you enter a room, everyone feels it, consciously or not. It is the power you deploy, the power that resides within you, and it must not be taken for granted. You are not just a vessel of peace, you are a force of transformation. And when the energy shifts, everyone will know that you have arrived as a chosen one. Your power lies not only in your ability to heal or protect, but in your presence. You carry within you a divine energy capable of changing the course of things, of revealing what is hidden. Truths and protection of the sacred. You are a force of transformation, and if provoked, the world will feel the weight of your response. But remember that this power is not meant to be used lightly. It is a responsibility, a call to live authentically, to protect your peace, and to use your energy wisely. The divine mission you carry is greater than any passing conflict. It is a legacy, a spiritual journey that will continue to unfold. Let this be a challenge for you. Move forward boldly, aware of your divine power. Do not let anyone dim the light you carry within. Protect your energy, be discerning in your mercy, and never forget that you are here to illuminate the darkness and guide others toward their truth. The world needs you, your light, your strength, your mission. If this journey speaks to you, if you are ready to continue walking the path of the chosen, join us here at Relationship with God. Subscribe and become part of a community that honors your unique role in the divine plan. It is not just about understanding your power, but embracing it fully and living it with conviction. You are not alone on this path. Together, we rise.